show, a real estate show, New Jersey style. Today's discussion point is the spring market. As it may come as no surprise to you that we have had no snow this winter. It's one of my favorite things about this winter is that there is no snow. It's one of my favorite things about the housing market this winter is that there is no snow. Basically, the spring market pretty much started first week of January and it has powered through. There really has been kind of an eye on like what's coming. You know, maybe we should wait to declare the market, the spring market. Hey, it still could be cold, there still could be some changes in the weather, but right now we're sitting here at the end of February with no snow in sight. Now, March could come in like a lamb, in like a lion, out like a lamb, but it's not even coming in like a lion. It's coming in like maybe a little lion cub. So, yeah, we could have one snowstorm, maybe two. It could affect a week, 10 days worth of real estate showings in March, but at this point, mentally, we have moved into the spring market. And what does that mean? It means multiple bid situations. Homes that were sitting for the months of December, early January, are now getting multiple bids. They're getting showings, 10 showings in a week, 15 people coming to an open house, several bids, multiple bids are happening. And these are the same homes that you could have gotten in November or December, even the beginning of January, with no other bidders. And but everybody kind of focused on their holidays and what they, and now here you are in the spring. So let that be a lesson to you for next year or any other year that if you're a buyer, you should be out there pounding the pavement when other people are going to holiday parties. So what else does it mean? It means that homes are not sitting. I just put a home on the market, it was gone in a weekend. That's the good old rah-rah days, the go-go days of 2013, 14, 15, 16, where homes, if you went skiing for the weekend or you went somewhere for a long weekend, you missed a whole bunch of homes. They don't even exist to you because they come on a Thursday or a Friday. By the time you get around to seeing them on a next Tuesday even, they have multiple offers, they're highest and best, they've already gotten into attorney review, they're taking up backups only. So that's the spring market right now. If you're a buyer, you really need to be working with an expert to help guide you through because we are right in the thick of it. Thanks, that's today's discussion. Today's hot topic is a topic that is becoming more and more prevalent as the weeks go on, and how it affects the housing market is what I'm going to talk about. The coronavirus. What it means, what it could mean, and how to take advantage of it if you're a buyer or a seller. So let's start with the coronavirus itself and say it's already got a bad name. It's not like the swine flu or the bird flu or something that people can kind of get their arms around and say, oh, well, that came from pigs and that came from birds, and oh, maybe pigs should have that or birds should have that. Now we have it and we got to deal with it, and it's coronavirus. I mean, it's kind of a scary sounding name that doesn't have a lot of meaning other than it's a little bit generic about what the virus is. So so what does it mean for the housing market? It means right now that you're starting to see in other countries slowdowns in terms of quarantines of cities in certain Southeast Asian countries. Air travel or travel or conferences are starting to get pulled back because of it. Everybody's being a little bit cautious with like one eye open on this whole thing. What does it mean here in the New York market? Well, we are in a multicultural, diverse market that pulls in people from all over the world. People come here from all over the world constantly. So maybe we're more susceptible to having people with the virus come here than, say, Columbus, Ohio, or somewhere in the Midwest, because we just draw a lot of people from all over the world here. So what could that mean for the housing market? Right now, it hasn't meant anything for the housing market. You just saw my segment on the spring market is that it's booming. What could it mean? It could mean that if this coronavirus expands and blows up a bit into the New York metro area, that people will pull back a little bit. That both buyers and sellers will pull back and hold their breath for a short period of time to make sure that that everybody's still going to have a job, and that things aren't going to stop. And when I would raise a red flag is if they shut the subway down. That's when you raise the red flag. Until then, a couple of recommendations that I have are: work with an agent if you're a buyer. Don't go to a bunch of open houses. You're just going to meet a lot of people there. You're going to mingle with a lot of people. Set up private showings where it's just you and your one agent. Reduce your exposure to those types of situations. You're touching things at the open house, you're getting some of those things. And how to take advantage of it. Look, if you're a buyer right now, I'd be hopping on this market. The interest rates are still super low. They're at rock bottom. It could just pass over, just like all the bird flu and the swine flu and the SARS. It really isn't that bad in terms of the amount of casualties or mortality rate from it. Some people are getting sick, but it's primarily young and the elderly that get affected most, and everybody else gets a little sick. So I would take advantage of other people's fear. And if you're a seller, I would take advantage of it in a way that says, hey, look, you have to keep your eye on the market. And if the market does seem to be a little more fearful, you need to pull back and just wait it out. Wait it out. It's probably going to show itself to be something or not something in the next 4 weeks. But that's my market take on the coronavirus, today's hot topic. The good, the bad, the ugly. The good. Just read today that they've preliminarily approved a new hotel in Hoboken. Not the one down by the post office, but one right on the corner of where Marin Boulevard and Observer Highway are, where that light is, where everybody turns to go on Marin and head into Jersey City. Across from the fire station that's kind of wedged in over there, like by Madison. So on that other side where there's like a coffee distributor right there, that whole area, they're looking at building a hotel. So that's great. Hoboken could certainly use another hotel option there with some business on the lower floors, and then a hotel up at the top, or a restaurant on the first floor. So super excited. The bad, that I also read that the Hop in Hoboken is going to be adding a couple more buses. Now the bad is that, look, I can't use a single-use plastic bag for anything. I had to carry my groceries in my hands. But these hops, we're going to add some new ones, and they're not going to be environmentally friendly. I'm waiting for those electrical vehicle hops to be coming around. So let's see if we can do that as a city, rather than put it on the individuals. Let's put it on the city to do some things there as well. And then the ugly. There was an article this week that the state has called out our Hoboken's waste of just overall city government waste. And for an example of that, did you know that the city employees get a paid day off for giving blood? They get a paid day off for that. They get a paid day off for being in a wedding or a bar mitzvah as well. And it's like, look, the city employees get vacation days. They get a lot of vacation days compared to a lot of people in the corporate world. And yet here they are with this one small example. That was one example in this report that the state of New Jersey called out Hoboken. Now the mayor and the government is going to say, oh, well, a lot of that stuff we cleaned up and this and that. But you don't know what's in those contracts. We're facing a budget deficit here in Hoboken, and again, there are just givebacks and givebacks and givebacks and hidden givebacks in all of these particular contracts. mean, it's kind of ugly that they were talking about cutting as many as 80 city employees to make up the budget deficit when the people who are left are actually kind of taking advantage of the system. If everybody gave just a little bit back, we could probably keep most of those employees. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today's bit of inspiration is a little bit of humorous inspiration, and it says that basically the great thing about getting a flu shot is you never have to wash your hands again. I mean, in today's environment with the coronavirus and the flu and everything, obviously it's a joke, but a little humor goes a long way. So my hands are clean, and I had a flu shot, and I don't ever have to wash them again. This has been the Brian Murray Show. Thank you so much for watching. I welcome your feedback. If you found anything interesting or informative, please follow me. All the past episodes are on my website at themurraypropertygroup.com, or you can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And if there is anything that you disagree with in the show, definitely reach out to me and I'll show you why you're wrong.